Okay, I'm back on here after singing the blues about a girl I used to know. Unfortunately, I still do. Uh, so, had my appointment with a podiatrist yesterday, and that went very well. One thing in my life that is finally starting to track better is my feet, my foot and a half. Can I really call them feet anymore since I don't have a whole foot? uh, Left one is coming along amazingly. That where that ulcer had tried to start where the first ulcer was has healed, and that has really been a shock to me. As quickly as it healed. I guess it has to do with where it was on my foot. I will say, and people might call it fringe stuff, whatever. I have for a couple of months now been taking colloidal silver. My best friend Scott from Middleburg, he knows someone out there that can make it, and he didn't really put any stock in it, but he brought me a jar of it that this lady had made, and I can't say I've seen any kind of miraculous effects from it on the outside, but that's the only real change that I've made, and in other areas, I'm still, I still have the open wound on my right foot, but he grafted that. But this thing on my left foot, it healed, and it healed very quickly. Maybe if the cancer is back, maybe the silver will help. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm a firm believer in a lot of the esoteric methods for healing. Because a lot of what we consider, esoteric, kooky stuff today was frontline medicine, 200-300 years ago. And no, we didn't have the same, survival rate back then as we do now. But on the other hand, there were a lot of other factors back then as to why we didn't survive so well as we do now. So, maybe there is something to some of that, that ancient knowledge that we like to scoff at as primitive kookery. I don't scoff at it, at any rate. So, maybe it's helped, maybe it hasn't, I don't know. I know that thing on my foot, my left foot, has healed up in about 2 weeks, and that is insane to me. So maybe it's doing good things. I can now go back to wearing a regular sneaker on my left foot, which is very nice. The skin graft site, which he took the skin graft from like the inside edge of the arch of my left foot, like 2 inches from where the ulcer was, and that still wants to bleed, but you know, all I have to do is put a big band-aid with triple antibiotic ointment on that every day, and it's good. And the graft on Stumpy is holding. We've still got a while to know whether or not it's actually going to take or if it's going to fail, but hopefully it takes, and it buttons up, you know, my right foot, my stump. Just dry gauze with iodine on it every day, and that's all I've got to do for that one. Still wrap that one up in an ace wrap. But if that graft takes and, you know, we finally get the swelling down, I might be able to start thinking about a prescription shoe that will fit me correctly and won't roll around on me. You know, my right foot, my stump, it's no longer foot shaped, due in part to the swelling. What would be left of my arch is gone. You know, it's just swelled. It's just rounded. It's barrel shaped. And so the ortho shoe that I wear on it is constantly rolling around. I busted my butt a couple of times because it rolled too far to one side, and I went to put my foot down and had nothing to stand on, and I went down. And because of the swelling and the fact that I'm still nursing the graft, I can't yet stuff it into a regular shoe with, you know, some kind of wadding in front to make it fit. But when I can do that, I'll at least be able to make that shoe tight, and hopefully it won't roll. We'll see. But yeah, that's the report from the podiatrist, my miracle worker. Things get if things do get better for me and I can, you know, go back to work and get a little bit of money to play with, I'm definitely going to buy that doctor a gift card to the fanciest restaurant that I can afford and send him and his wife out to dinner, because he certainly deserves it. He has earned his moniker as a miracle worker. Nothing else to update about the bankruptcy yet. I'm gonna hit the phones again around 1 o'clock and stay on them. No point in trying to do it now, because a lot of those offices are at lunch or getting ready to go to lunch. But when they're, pardon me, I'm so sorry. My ex-wife managed to give me indigestion last night, and a little bit of it is still there. Anyway, jump back on that when they get back from lunch. Keep pushing toward that. And like I said, you can't make it work, then what the hell, I'll fight a foreclosure. One of my very long time followers, an absolutely wonderful lady that is definitely the kind of person that I would love to just like sit around a fire with some good coffee and trade stories back and forth. Commented on not the video I just made because about the problems with the ex. I made those almost back to back, about 15 minutes apart, and I'm gonna post those at the same time. But the last video I made before that, she's always so sweet and so nice. Made a comment about GoFundMe and, you know, my subscribers, and before anybody says anything, has anything slick to say, no, I'm not asking for that. I'm not trying to guilt anybody into it. About how if a certain number of my subscribers, you know, made a relatively small donation, that would, you know, get the mortgage current, and it would. And it goes into, you know, why I started this channel. I've said before, you know, I have never had any desire to become a YouTuber. I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy, you know, getting on here and laying my life bare for all to see. I'm a private person. I like my privacy. I tend to be somewhat of a recluse and an introvert. I will admit that sometimes I do feel better getting on here and just talking about some of my problems, because, you know, coming from the aspect of a therapist, it doesn't work. I've tried it, and you know, the problems I have, they can't be talked away. And a therapist, you know, they always want to offer solutions. They want to offer, they want to explain to me why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. I know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And then, like, you know, my folks, I said in the video I just made, about always wanting to blow sunshine up my ass, you know, their immediate reaction is to, you know, like in the case of my ex, you know, talk down on her, about what a, you know, POS she turned out to be, and she's wrong, and, you know, I'm so much better and so much more, you know. That's not what I need to hear. In a lot of ways, I don't need to hear anything at all. In some ways, I think I just need to be heard, you know. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not a talker, you know. That's something else that's really hard for me about this, because I tend to be stoic. I tend to be quiet. I don't talk a lot unless I'm really comfortable, with the people that I'm around. And one way it's really hard because, I've got 800 subscribers, and I know that maybe not all of them watch every video, but a good majority of those people, of y'all are watching me. And that is a hell of a lot of people for me, to have focused on me. But at the same time, when I'm making these videos, I'm also just talking to the sorry looking face in my camera. It's like I'm talking to myself, which, yeah, I kind of do that a lot. Call me crazy. We have some of the best conversations, don't you know? I don't need somebody to, reassure me or to try to tell me why. I know why. And nothing anybody can really say is going to make anything any better than it already is. I know, what I have to do. I know what's at stake. And I know that I can either keep pushing or, just give up. I'm not going to give up, I don't need reassurance. I just need to be heard. I used to have a lot of people tell me I was a really good listener. Because I just let, people sit there and talk and tell me their problems. And, sometimes I might try to offer some stupid philosophical bit of introspection. But, there would be times, especially if it was like a closer friend, I would just say, well, yeah, that sucks, but I'm here. And, if you need something and I can do it, I'll do it. If you need me to listen, I'll listen, life is hard, and sometimes all we need is just somebody to sit down and listen, and I would say, I'm always here for you. Now, suck it the fuck up and let's go do something to take our minds off the bullshit. Pardon my French. But yeah. Sometimes we just need to be heard. That's all there is, and where I was going with the channel, I never wanted to be a YouTuber. I started this channel to support the GoFundMe and garner support for the GoFundMe. But I never have any expectations that people are going to donate I always say, if you want to and you can, thank you. You have my eternal gratitude. If you don't want to or you can't, don't worry about it. Because I know what it's like to not have $25 to spare. I know what it's like to not have $10 to spare. I know what it's like to be completely and totally broke and still, have people with their hands open. Life is hard. And I get it. The GoFundMe was never meant to support me. It was never meant to be a total solution. It was always just meant to help out when and where it could. I still, I talk about it. I don't talk about it. I don't say anything about it till the end of my videos because I don't like talking about it. But I still mention it. I still bring it up. If you can and you want to, great. If not, okay, fine. That's okay. What I'm saying really is, yeah, that's what the channel is for. It's to garner support for the GoFundMe. But it is definitely not a requirement or an expectation. Because at the end of the day, it does sometimes just feel good to get on here and talk to nobody in particular, but to, those of you that actually do care, and there's some of you that really do, and that makes me feel good. So, yeah, if you can and you want to donate and it's not going to put you out, thank you so much. I need it, and I do definitely appreciate it. But if you can't, or you just don't want to, and that's okay. It is okay for you not to want to. Don't worry about it, It's okay. It is okay. Don't feel like, you're obligated to do something. Nobody is. And I just wanted to, make that clear. With much respect and admiration to the very lovely lady that made that comment. She is an angel. But I just want everybody to understand, it's not necessary. I will find a way. I hope you all have a good day. I might jump back on here tomorrow and just talk about something dumb to lighten the mood. Till then, yeah, the GoFundMe link is in the description where it usually is. And if you care to and want to and are able to donate, thank you so very much. But if you are not, cannot, or do not want to, it is okay. Really, it is. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.